back, folks. We are working on a game for a game engine I've been writing with my husband for about 5 years now. And while this seems to be a rare occurrence, and I can't even believe it myself, in the make your own engine community, we are actually making a game with it. And so far, so good. So for those that have been following in the past, I'm making a kind of a classic RPG, vintage, kind of a homage to Ultima, Daggerfall, and Arena, and those types of games. Deck builder, multiplayer deck builder. So far, what we have, my husband has done the multiplayer aspect. He's waiting on me to finalize some card ideas, so he knows exactly what the back end needs to look like for multiplayer. But we have the basics in, and I can actually just show you what we're doing now. And I'm working on a vertical slice so that I have something to show. Was hoping to get it done by August. It's probably going to be done by September, end of September, because these things take longer than you predict that they will. So working on a vertical slice just to show, I'm trying to just stub out and mock out a bunch of interactions and try to like make a polished visual, make like a polished 10 to 30 seconds of gameplay that I can clip and show online to try to start garnering some attention. So that's what we're working on. I've been working on for about a month, and then today I spent the entire weekend making 5 or 6 different card designs, and I'm mostly happy with what we've landed on, but I'll be fiddling around with that, making sure it looks just like I want it to, and finalizing that, and then playing with the UI a little bit, trying to get more of it stubbed out and interactable, and we'll see where the day takes us from there. So I'm listening to Wooden Vessels, which I found on a subreddit when I was looking up Dungeon Synth, and they had said to a different user, yeah, feel free to share our music, have it stream in the background to try to garner some attention, so that's very kind of them. So check them out, they're called Wooden Vessels, and they're just a really good Dungeon Synth band. Okay, so I'll show you what I have so far for my new viewers. And actually, let me figure out how to pull up my chat window. There. Okay, so when you launch the game, you'll see we have a hat icon, a dainty floral hat, because prior to making this game, I had started out an adventure of making a physics-based cozy game where you build hats a la Howl's Moving Castle's Hat Shop, which I still want to do, but that seemed bigger than this project, so I decided to dial it back a little bit and make something that I could actually finish within a year or a year and a half. Knock on wood. Famous last words. So anyway, you launch the game and you see a nice dainty floral hat in the icon, and then you can choose single player mode, or you can host a game with 2 players, or you can join the game. This UI will be going away or getting polished, but if you click multiplayer, then you're brought into the game screen, and you see this is the current version of the cards. I think they look pretty cool. Still fiddling with them a little bit to get them exactly how I like them. And then let's see, this needs some improvement. I was working on this most recently, so the kind of final layout will look like, let's see if I can pull it up. Preview. Gonna look something like this, although now I've moved the card panel from the top left into the bottom right so that you can get more space, because I ran it by my husband and he said ain't nobody trying to scroll vertically in a card-based game to see all the cards that they can play, and I think he's right. So I've moved the card panel over here to the right, and then this will be the player menu, I think player menu is appropriate. There's going to be 4 player icons if you're playing a 4-player game, and I got inspired for this game from King's Quest, if you guys remember the King's Quest franchise. I grew up with those, and my god, I loved them. And my favorite part of King's Quest was the eye icon. So, started with an eye icon, now I'm here, but the eye icon is the most important part of this entire game. So, with the player profiles, when you play a card, you'll have an enemy in front of you, and your goal is to try to defeat your enemy deck before your opponents defeat theirs. So if you can think of it almost as if it's like a creative way to represent victory points in Dominion or other deck building games. Your goal is to defeat all 30 of your enemies before your opponents defeat all 30 of theirs. So when you play a card, when you click on a card, you can target the enemy in front of you, depending on the card effects, or yourself by clicking on your profile picture here. Or if you want to target an enemy a couple of cards, there's going to be limited interaction with the opponents, because that's not really what it's not like you're not battling your opponents, but what you can do is you can, especially if you're the Warlock class, you're going to be able to interact negatively with your opponents and respawn an enemy that they've already killed, or cast some kind of curse upon them so that they can't draw cards next turn, something like that. So when you click a card, if it's an enemy targeted card, you'll see an enemy highlighted here. If it's an opposing player targeted card, you'll see the 3 opposing players targeted. If you click on them, then you will cast that card on them. And then in the viewport here, it's going to be kind of first person view. You'll see any cast animations come into play. And then there'll be a log here. And down here is going to be the loadout of whatever card you've selected, so you can get more information on it. And the part I really like about the game is how I'm tying in fantasy elements or RPG elements into a deck builder game. So to buy new cards, what you do is if you play cards, there's going to be a couple that allow you to train a stat. So first of all, when you start the game, you get to pick a class, a starting class. You can be a Warlock, a Barbarian, a Wizard, or a Rogue. And Warlock is Wisdom, Rogue is Agility, Wizard is, or Mage is Intelligence, and then Barbarian is Strength. So we have four stats in the game. In your starting deck, you'll always have a couple of Train X stat, where X is your class. So if I'm a Barbarian, I'll have a couple of Train Strength cards. When I play those, it'll take a stamina point, and my stamina bar will go down for the turn. And that will give me a temporary strength token. So if I play 1 Train Strength, I'm going to have 1 strength token, and these are ephemeral, so at the end of the round they're going to go away. Then once I'm done with my action turns, when I'm all out of actions and stamina, I can come in here and level up. And so leveling up means I can trade in any tokens that I've pooled for the round and use those to purchase new skill cards and new attack cards and such. And then some cards will have stat requirements, so you will also have a total pool of stat points. So if I've played 9 strength plus strength cards over the duration of the game, my strength will be 9. And then only with a strength of 9 can I get to in the skill tree, that is where you buy cards. There'll be some cards that are powerful that require at least 8 strength or at least 9 strength. But you can also multi-class the way it's set up. So if I want to be a wise barbarian, then I'll be a little bit less strong than other barbarians and a little bit less wise than other warlocks, but I can choose to gain some of the necromancy and other player negative interaction curse type deals that the warlock will have, but I will never be as strong as just a warlock, or I'll never be as wise as a warlock or as strong as a barbarian. But yeah, that is the mission. It's pretty fleshed out now, and today's mission is finalizing the card design, because that's going to be one of the most important parts of the game. And I've landed here. I like it, but I don't know. I don't know what I feel about this border. Not the button text border, but I'm actually just gonna get rid of that button text. I don't like it. But I don't know if I'm feeling the border or not. I'm going for, vibe-wise, the retro dark fantasy. So that's a lot of, I'm trying to pull inspiration from 70s, 80s, and 90s. And I'm still kind of waffling if I'm going dark fantasy or just fantasy. Dark fantasy is very in right now, and I'm feeling some severe FOMO, but and the shader that I've been working on for about a year was specifically for that dark fantasy vibe. However, it can be repurposed, and I'm kind of waffling between dark and just like classic 80s and 90s fantasy, if you think about Hero Quest and those types of things. But the problem with the nice thing about dark fantasy is it's easier to make a consistent UI or consistent theme and vibe going that way because the elements are stronger. But if you're just going like nostalgic fantasy, most nostalgic fantasy is really ugly, and there's something special about it that ties it together. And that's really hard to target because I'm good at making ugly things, but I'm not good at making ugly things tie in together without a stronger overriding theme. So we're just playing around and trying to find something that works. Nice middle ground. Okay, so if anyone watches this, leave a comment and let me know what you feel about this gray border, if it would be better without it. I'm gonna leave it in for now. Now I'm kind of wondering, why is that so much more contrasted than I remember it being? Maybe my computer monitor's on some kind of evening mode or something, I'm not sure. But yeah, kind of just a relaxed stream today, more relaxed than my usual streams. And you know, I don't know how I feel about this destroyed look, but I'm gonna temporarily get rid of this. Well, not you. I one time purchased the, what is it called? True Grit Texture Supply comic book inking brushes on Photoshop, and they were expensive, but they're really cool. And they've given me this like a inkware look, which I like. Might be too much, I'm not sure yet. Let's see. Don't want that. I think the speckles are too much. But yeah, just hanging today and working on cards. I have made so many iterations of this card, you guys have no idea. I'm pretty happy with this. I like the kind of Black Sabbath-y look it's got going on. I don't know if I like the current effects that the staff has on it. And I'm not sure about this border. Yeah, but that just looks too... that doesn't have enough. So we put the... don't know about the Celtic knots. What if I make them... let's see here. I think the Celtic knots could be really good, but something about how I've drawn them is bad. And they don't quite fit anywhere I want them to fit. So now when I actually start making the card designs for the real game, we're not going to have any text in the Photoshop image. I'm just going to have the basic image and the basic template. So I'm going to have one image that is the base card, this black with the red, and then this purple diamond. But then this text and this text won't be there, so that I can use a resources file. I'm going to probably write a little tool that goes from my Excel spreadsheet. Let's see here. I can show you that. Google Sheets, or should I say my Google Sheets spreadsheet? Who has Excel these days? So I want to be able to go from Excel spreadsheet directly into resource file so that I can convert my stamina cost directly here and my stamina cost there, and then whatever I end up choosing for the name of the card will go right in the main part of the card. And this will be nice if I go this approach, because what I want to do, I'll have some kind of tool that will generate a resources file. Maybe I'll keep the Excel spreadsheet as the resources file, but that way we can just pull directly from that file, and if I need localization or anything, I can have localized versions of the file depending on locale. But that's a little bit down the road. But the other thing that I need to worry about is font scaling, because if I'm on a high DPI, if someone's playing the game on a high DPI screen, they're not going to want to have to see this image really, really small. They're not going to be able to read the text. So I need to then figure out a way to cleverly scale the font, which then needs to be generated in ImGui and overlaid on top of the card and scaled to the DPI settings of whoever is using it. So some more work to do here. I want to like the Celtic knots, I just don't like them. I think the idea is there and the execution is poor. So if we have them, maybe if they run off the screen and I could just cut them. Oops, let's just grab you. Maybe. Then do we want them on the top too? Just not feeling them. Maybe I am. But not. Let's put them all in the same layer. Okay, you, and you. Okay, let's change your color. Yeah, you definitely can't be overlapping on the red. Oops, I didn't select enough here. This is so fun. Do you know what I would give to be able to just do this all day long? Okay, that's a maybe. Now let's merge down again. I have to remember that I only have 2/3 of the screen to work with. If you guys want to see what I'm doing, otherwise it gets too transparent so you can't actually see. Okay, so let's try it. Red, and then let's do, I think that's got to be big enough. So there has to be a better, this is the approach I've been doing. There's got to be a way to just select. Oh, that's perfect. So if I select inverse, then do a new layer, that'll be what I want to do. Okay. I have my tablet on the floor, and sometimes Photoshop likes to send modals all the way down there. Okay, this is called knots. Okay, let's... Yeah, I don't know. So we were gonna multiply. Yeah, that doesn't pop enough. Maybe it has to be green. I really need to figure out layer masks in Photoshop. That would make my life a lot easier doing this mission. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, first of all, these are not remotely horizontally aligned or vertically aligned. Let's fix. I think I just don't like the Celtic knots, but I really want to like them, and that's the problem. Well, we can at least take a look and see how it looks in game. Oh, can I just do mask all objects? Is that going to give me the mask I want? Maybe. Let's get rid of this layer. What happens? No, I don't think that did it. Here's what I can do. Let's select all. And then Control C and then add a mask here. Oh hum. Oops. Layer merge. Alright, let's see what that looks like. So what we do to get it in the game is we export as a PNG, put it in here, then head over to our game, and we already have it in our manifests file, but we just create an asset manifest, which is just JSON, and it shows the relative path of the PNG for the textures, and then some information about compression. Cal did the compression part and it works really well. Then we just come into the terminal and run our NC convert tool on the manifest. and it has rebuilt our texture asset, and then we run a CMake install and it will be live. Oh, that's horrible. That is not it. Could it be it? If with some adjustment, or should I just get rid of? Okay, we're gonna try it with, let's see if there's, I wish there was an easy way to I can lower the opacity with there. I wish there was an easy way to fix the fact that the lines got much thicker. I think that's probably too... Okay, we can try that. Okay, head over to the terminal. Yeah, that's just not it. Ditching the Celtic nuts. I'm also going to lower the distressed look a little bit because that's a bit much. Maybe raise the speckles a little. That's a bit much too. Okay. It's looking a little plain. And I also think it's too, the aspect ratio is not quite right. So let's fix that. It needs to be a little bit, oh yeah, card width times 1.1. Let's try that. So I'm also on a quest to make ImGui my production UI. Yeah, I think that's fine. It almost looks like it's more of the card back than the card front, which is kind of a problem. I think I might lighten the black a little bit to make it look a little bit more worn. Oops. Oh, now that's an idea. What if I make the border black? What are you even accomplishing? You're the one I need. Oh, but you... This PSD is kind of a mess. My layers are unnamed. That's probably too light. Yeah, maybe that's the move, and then I have to find this. Oh no. You really should be part of this card. And I don't need you anymore. Okay, so now I should be able to choose just one color that affects the whole background. Yeah. You know, I think I like that actually, the lighter look, because that makes it look a little bit more worn. But I want the text to stand out a little bit more now. I almost want you to stand out less. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. And if anyone's curious, the reason I am sending the whole, or why I haven't cropped the PNG just to the borders of the card, it's because when I was working on the card sliding, I can't, the card sliding when you hover over, I can't fix a bug where if you mouse over the card, it moves away, and other cards make room for the moused over card. But if you mouse over to the slight right of the card, so if you mouse over the card, it's going to move to the left. And then now your mouse will no longer be on the card, so then the card thinks it can move back to the right. So then that will put it back under your mouse, which will then cause it to bounce back to the left. And since it's no longer hovered, it'll come back to the right. So it shakes. So the way I fixed that was very clever. I just pad the right side of the card with the right and left sides of the card with some empty space, because then this is still considered the card in ImGui. I think I'm gonna like that. Let's see. Oh, that is indistinguishable from the background. Oh dear. But I do kind of like it. Because this background is actually going to be gray. It's going to be stony. I think I like that. That's looking pretty good. Okay. Need to fix this, but I don't really feel like fiddling around with the table API in ImGui today, so what I might work on is just to completely switch gears, because I like this card design. I'm going to completely switch gears and finish modeling out the hand and texturing the hand. Sounds fun. Alright, I'm going for a bathroom break. I will be back. Alright. So we're going to switch gears and work on modeling that hand a little bit more. Blender is determined to open in my tablet, which is on the floor. Okay. So I sculpted this earlier last month, I think. And this is high poly. Ever since Blender 4, I can't remember how to easily show the poly count, so I gotta Google it. Let's do Cognito, Blender, poly count. In the overlays menu, enable the statistics checkbox. Which overlays menu? Aha! Oh. Okay, you were the high poly version. That's good. So this guy, this is the hand for the wizard, and it's not looking very wizardy. So I was thinking about giving him long fingernails. You guys should like, comment, and subscribe and blow my channel up so that I can eventually get more time to do this than evenings after work and after my son is in bed, because this is really fun. Okay, I need to find the grab tool. I don't need... Blender is amazing, but one thing I've never cared for is trying to collapse a window into the other window. It's very confusing to do that. No, see, now I'm just making more. Oh my god. Get out of here. Okay, I want only one window. I don't want 5. I thought you could... Oh no. No. No, no. Okay, there's gotta be a way to... What if I just click... There we go. Sculpting. There we go. There is a way to do that. Someone watching, tell me how to... I was able to do it. I feel like I could do it in Blender 3. There's a way you can get the plus icon to collapse a window into the other without just making more. Okay, let's find our grab tool. No, maybe snake hook is the move for this one. Where are you? Not elastic snake hook. Regular old snake hook. There you are. Yeah, that's... Oh, that... Just the nail, please. Ooh. I guess I can go back and clean it up. That's a little bit much. Maybe snake tool isn't the move. Yeah, I think I want to grab and then inflate. Yeah, grab is the move. That looks nasty and good. Okay, before I want to save this as Hands Wizard before I forget. Hands Wiz. I don't really want him to have sharpened claws. I really want him to just have long, unkempt fingernails. Okay, then hit it with a little bit of inflate. Should hopefully get rid of the mesh intersection problem. And a little bit of smoothing. And I feel like a wizard is not normally this thick. So let's fix that. That's a little bit too much. I know this is why they say you always want to do your big details or big blocks before you do your minor details, because then you're going to have to come back and clobber some of your fine details when if you're making changes to the big details. But in my case, I want to have the same hand mesh for everybody. So what I probably should have done is just not added details to it. Ooh. Added details to it before I had personalized it for each class. Oh yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go a little lighter on the deflate here. And then I feel like he should have really big knuckles. Emphasize the boniness. Look a little bit gnarled. Hopefully I can smooth away all the bad geometry here and then just reapply the fine details. I've had mixed results with the inflate deflate tool. I find it a lot of the time it kind of pops the interior geometry out. But that could also be my crease tool doing that. Looking a little better. He might need more of a gap here, more of a crease. Where's my armature? Oh, maybe it's hidden in sculpt mode? There it is. Oh no, not you. Okay, did I not have any actions in this? No. Okay. Well, let's go back to sculpting and then I can drag in the action from... Actually, I better do that. So I have a couple different versions of this file. And Okay, I've got to figure out how to get those windows down. Blender collapse windows, Blender 4. Click and drag on the corner with the grabber, same one for making a new window, and drag directly over the neighboring panel that you want. Oh, that's 2013, I knew that. Dragging from an area corner into the space of a second area will join two areas. There we go. I had so many. Oh. Okay. Okay, now we're in business. Okay, what I'm going to try to do actually, I'm not. What I was trying to do was make sure that I've saved, I don't clobber the animation file from the high poly one, but instead I think I'm just going to wing it because if worse comes to worse, I can just reanimate the pose, or the casting pose, because it really isn't that hard to do. Okay, we're just moving on. So that's already looking more gnarled. I'm gonna try to add some more boniness in his tendons now. Now I do want a second window. This one's gonna be like here. Give him some veins. Okay. Now we can go in and do some of the fine details again and bring those back. I think its crease is the problem. I don't think it's the deflate tool so much as it is the crease tool. It gives me the weird geometry. Okay, that's looking good. And whiz high poly. And what do we want? We want FBX units, scale, Z forward. I should do this every time. Let's see, what do we want? We move Z, positive Z forward, negative Z back, and Y up. This one's high poly. Then we're going to make a low poly version. Anyone that knows how to 3D model is going to scream when they see how I make things low poly, I think. But it works for me. My philosophy is things are done the right way if they work for you, until they don't work for you because you run into some kind of problem and then you can fix them. Okay, we want to get to like somewhere around 1,000. Ooh. Okay, let's try 0.05. You can still see some of the sculpting. That's kind of lost a lot of the integrity though. That's still, maybe we, what happens if I go to 0.3 and then just try to add some of that? Actually, wait a minute, if I'm remembering correct, so I'm going to be baking the details on, so I bet I can go even lower. Yeah, that should be okay. Now here's the hard part. I need to then, this is the stage at which I want to try to get the animation from the other one back in. Going to pose for this guy. I don't know at what stage of the game it became so much shorter. How many did I give you? Only 1,500. Oh, I have to apply. That's why. Oh no. Okay. There we go. Okay. So far, so good. Okay. Nice. That was easy. Okay, now before I delete that one, I need to look at what actions I have. Ooh. Call that one cast. Let's look at idle. Okay. Call this one idle. And then every other one I can delete. Oh, I wanna. And then if you don't know with Blender Actions, if you see that 0 but it hasn't left your action window, when you save and close it and then reopen, it'll be gone. Unless you have the blue check mark by this fake user. Okay, so let's verify that that worked. Going down to my tablet. Nice. Okay, so now I can export as FBX, hands whiz, low poly, FBX unit scale, and Z forward. Now is the part that I really like, the texturing. I'm already paying for a monthly subscription for Photoshop, and I couldn't bear to also pay a monthly subscription for Substance Painter now that Adobe's bought them. But on Steam, you can purchase a lifetime membership for $150 to Substance Painter, although it stops on the year that it was released, and then the next year is another $150, but I'm just not updating. So that's a choice if you want to make it. I use it. I'm using it more now, but for me it definitely makes sense. So this is cool. I will show you how Substance lets you bake textures. So this is my low poly version. And as you can see, a lot of the oops, I have to delete. There we go. Okay, much better. So that's my low poly version. What? Oh, that's not gonna work. I forgot to UV map. Okay, I wonder, I think I can do auto unwrap. I'm gonna try it. I think that this will still work if I also auto unwrap the other one, but we'll see. Okay, that's much better UV mapping, UV unwrapping. So now this is the low poly version. A lot of the details are gone, but if I then go into setting, nope. How do I do this? Maybe it's in, no, it's not. How? Oh, return to painting mode. Edit. Project configuration. Why am I forgetting how to do this? Oh no, it is in here. Okay, you can go in Substance Painter and go to Bake Mesh Maps, and then you can say you can load a high poly map. Oh, you know, I forgot to make the high poly map bigger too. So I'm gonna do that quick. Import. And now we can go back to Substance. Did I close Substance Painter? Or did it crash on me? I probably closed it. Why would I have closed it without saving? Huh. Well, you just go through that exercise again. So we pull in the low poly version, we auto unwrap. Then we can come in here and edit and mode bake mesh maps, and then you can load your high poly one. Oh, have to export it with the correct settings. If you don't choose FBX units scale, then prepare to have your things be exactly 100 times bigger than they should be. Okay. So that's looking good. I think you want to look for red, and it looks good, so then you can choose what maps you want to bake. I'm just going to choose them all. And then this creates a bunch of mesh maps for you, like your normal map, your world space normal, position, height, ambient occlusion from your high poly. bakes it right in. And then now you can, oh, I've got to fix this spot down here. As you can see, now we have the high poly detail on this low poly mesh. Let's go in there and fix that spot. I don't exactly know what that... Well, oh, cage. Maybe that isn't the problem. Well, I don't know why that's happening. Probably the auto unwrap, but let's... Okay, it's not in base color or height or rough. Oh, did I get rid of my... Oh, my mesh maps. Is it in the north? Yeah. For some reason, just skipped that spot. I know there's a way to make your mesh, your high poly mesh bigger. Mode, bake mesh maps. What I'm looking for now is the window that lets me re-upload it. And I don't see it. Okay, we're just gonna redo it one more time. Oh, there it was just the default materials tab. Okay, then we can pull in the high poly and make it a little bit bigger. Oh, nice. Okay, that fixed it. Okay. So I want to do pretty much the same color all over. This might be a quick one. Add fill. I only want to do the base color here. I feel like wizards are pretty pale. And pull the fingernails out of there. Okay, so that mask just says that I want everything but the fingernails. And I'm actually going to add a group and put the mask on the group level. Because now, if I want to have some variation to color, I can add a fill layer. Let's call this one skin base. I can add a fill layer that's a little bit red or flushed, and then play around with some generators on the mask for that layer to make it look pretty cool. Flush. Now this layer too, we just want on the color channel. Something like that. We can start with that. Then we can add a black mask in a generator. And because we baked our mesh maps from the high poly mesh, we have all this information that the generators use. So you can see it's going off of maybe the thickness, or actually you can see here ambient occlusion and curvature mesh maps to fill in all the right spots. And that, gosh, this is cool. Of all the things that have to do with asset creation, using Substance Painter and texturing is by far my favorite. It's just so fun. That looks like a rat hand. It's not quite right. It's a little bit better. You know, I don't know if I want dirt. Maybe let's try. No. Oh, you know, I do want a gradient on there. I'm a sucker for gradients, but I don't want to deal with that right now. This is just a trouble spot for some reason. You know, dirt was probably the best one that I've found so far. Okay, that's looking nice. Now, let's... I think I want to do some kind of veins thing here. Ooh, curvature is the one I actually need for, not dirt. Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. So let's change this to not be quite so yellow. that looks so cool. This was supposed to be Bane, so maybe I'll just give him some kind of magical look. That looks pretty darn good. Okay, so this is skin. Then this we also just want on the base color, and we want to choose something like, oh, I'm going to invert this mask. There, that looks really cool. Oh, we have one more step, which is I need the world space normals here. So this we want only in the normal channel, and we want this to be world space normals, and it looks weird here, but that's okay, because what our game engine is going to see is the base color and the normal. Which I've coded my shader to use world space normals. And now we can put these in the engine or in the game. And we want the low poly mesh. Okay, so now we can go back to our manifest, and we can add our texture for the hand. Oh, this is the game engine, not the game. Go into the manifest. Okay, and I might need to update the animations because hand rig, and that might be what it is. We'll see. Okay. Why did you crash? The data area passed to a system call is too small. I've never seen that one. Let's look at, make sure our thing's exported correctly. Oh, it didn't. Interesting. Oh, the sum of bone weights affecting each vertex must equal 1. Yeah. So to fix this, I want to go to the low poly mode. Go into object mode. Weight paint, weights, normalize all, and weights limit total. And then I'm also going to name this hand while I'm in here. I think I just overwrote. Oh no. I overwrote the wrong hand file. Hopefully I saved the blend file. Okay, done that. Now I can come and copy it over. And I need to update the manifest because it's no longer cube 14, it should just be hand. I just fixed that. Let's see how she looks. Ooh, okay, need to tweak some things in here. Material settings. Something is severely wrong here. I've got to figure out what that is. I've done this more than once, but I want to. I am almost positive that this is not the problem. Hi, Kurt Cobain. Welcome back. Yeah. I've been, I think I'm happy with my card design that I finished earlier on stream, and now I am trying to get my textures to behave. I swear that it was not the world space or that it was the world space normals that I needed. So that means something has gone awry here. Huh. Yeah, that does not. That is not right. But why? Yeah, C++ is a killer, always. I'm definitely using world space normals for the staff. Let's verify that. Yeah, definitely. So that means something is wrong with the way that I'm outputting the normals. What is that? Yeah, so we started with Unity back in like 2014 or 15 and did that for a long time and made a couple partial games, or a bunch of partial games, and some of them that were fairly fleshed out. But we started a networking game in Unity, and then they deprecated, I don't remember what the networking library was that they used, but they deprecated it out from under us, and that made my husband more mad than it made me because he was the one writing the networking layer. So then that spawned him deciding to try to write his own game engine, and this is 2017, 2018 maybe? 2018. So then he just started learning C++ and writing his own engine, and then I joined in to try to play around with graphics programming in years ago now, I don't even know, 2021. And then we finally just got to the point where we had enough of an engine to make a game in. But then we tried just last year, we thought it's too slow to try to make features in our engine, so we should cut over to Unreal. So we gave it God's honest try, we really did, but it takes forever to build. And then we're running into the same, just like our engine is not bug free, but when you run into an Unreal Engine bug, what do? You're just stuck. So you can make a feature request or a bug ticket and see if there's already a bug ticket out there with your problem. Or you can just hope that it gets fixed. And so I'd much rather have an engine with less functionality that I can debug and fix myself in a weekend than wait for someone else to keep moving the target out from underneath us. So that's where we are. Better than, I think we were using, this was either earlier this year or last year. What version was it? Let me remember. Might even have it installed still. Do I? Nope, I installed it. Then the other thing is just how big are, I feel like we made the sample project in Unreal, and it was something like 500 megs, 5.6. It was 500 megs just for the sample project, which is insane. But I will not say it is not cool, because it is super cool. I'm gonna go back to world space normals and figure out why my shader's freaking out. Yeah, Unity can go kick rocks for all I'm concerned. It was really juicy when they had all the drama that they had last year or the year before when they changed their licensing terms out from underneath everybody. I loved watching that. Have you ever tried Godot? No, we couldn't see what your website was. At least it didn't show up in my chat. You said, I'm going to send you a link, and then there was just nothing. I think it must get filtered out. Oh, was that what it was? Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you can. Yeah, AI is weird now because it's inevitable. It's going to replace everything that I do in my livelihood and all of that, but I would like, it'd be nice to just have my imagination come to life with AI, but at the same time, I get the whole argument against AI art for generative art. It's just, there's no way to enforce copyright protections. And so that part sucks, but I like tinkering around. If I was trying to make serious money, I would be not making my own game engine and not tinkering around. And maybe AI is the way to do that. I think the community is still pretty hostile towards AI. But I think we have 2 years max before the world as we know it, I mean, not just limited to software engineering, but the world as we know it is completely upside down. So how does one prepare for that? I don't know. But I do think one of the reasons I started streaming is I think that there's going to be a surge of AI games. There probably is right now. And people are going to just want something that someone has literally made every component from scratch themselves because they're going to miss human contact. And so that's my niche. That's where I'm coming in hot. I've never tried Windsurf. What is it? I'm pretty happy with VS Code, honestly. My husband's on NeoVim now. He's one of those. I need to figure out what is causing this shader to explode. Oh, yeah, we can't install when it's running. So I know that I'm looking for world space normals in my shader. Oh, nice. Is it like Copilot or GitLab Duo or one of the AI coding assistants? Alright, let's play around with lighting and figure out what is going on here. You know, I vibe coded some of this card shuffling logic in ImGui, and it worked pretty well, but I can already sense that I'm getting dumber just having AI around, and if I've made it this far, I'll still use, I'm not against AI by any means, but I don't want to lose my critical thinking capability, and I can already see it happening because it's just so much easier. Let's make this red. Maybe one is the way to go. Yeah, that's definitely telling me that it's not the right map. That drives me crazy because it is. For sculpting or for blender or for modeling in general? I'm of the camp that you can do anything you want to do in Blender these days. Although I only do the simple things that I know how to do. I tried ZBrush, but oh my gosh, that is a lot to take in. I feel like at least when I tried it a few years ago, the UX was insane. Modeling characters. I would just start with Blender. It's free and there's so much wealth of information. Is it the UI that you don't like? Why do you hate it? Yeah, the UI is absolutely crazy. Once you get used to it, the functionality is just, it's really nice. You can do modeling, you can do rigging and animating and texturing and all sorts of things in there. Yeah. I found, it's probably because I'm used to Blender, but I found going from Blender to ZBrush was impossible. So maybe just pick one and commit to it. It doesn't matter which one it is. I don't know anything about Maya, really. This is driving me crazy. .3D Studio Max is old. When I was 12, which was a long time ago, I downloaded 3D Studio Max to try to make Morrowind assets. I'm gonna turn the animations off for right now because I'm sick of seeing them move when I'm trying to debug issues. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just very, it's not that I'm always open source tools or free tools, but Blender just works really, really well. Okay, what is going on? The normal is definitely screwed up. I can't. Oh, I remember what this problem is, Kurt Cobain. Oh, thank goodness. I did not. Oh, no. I ran into this last time I did this. So when I chose auto import, auto generate UVs, I only did that within Substance Painter, and all I did with Substance Painter is generate the textures. So my textures are using a different UV map than my mesh was generated with, which stinks because I think if I export this way, I don't have any animation data, so then I have to redo it, and I don't want to redo it. It's late. Dang. Yeah, it does not have. I wonder if I open it in Blender, if I can just do the same trick I did before and push down. Okay, so this is, which one are you? Thank you. But I'm wondering, is it easier to auto-generate the UVs in Blender, or is it easier to get this stupid animation to be moved from this mesh to the other? I'm gonna try that way. Okay, I don't even know what these little prickly guys are. That seems to be a Substance Painter thing. Okay. I think I can just get rid of this rig, get rid of this hand, then all I have to do is parent this hand to that rig, then sweet. Okay, that was not too hard. Then make sure my actions are parented. They are. Then I need to go back to white painting mode and normalize everything. Okay. Now change this and this and that. There we go. That's much, much, much better. Sweet. I'm going to turn the animations back on. Let's see where we're at. I'm also going to add my noise filter from the engine in here. We want to go into the engine and get the texture out of there. Should good. Might as well grab both of them. What did I name it? Linear hatch. Okay. Then let's see. Oh. So I work as a .NET software engineer for my day job, and I saw the funniest meme ever, and it said, "This is a bad screen. Can't wait to go home and look at good screen." And that is so my life. I like my job a lot. It's really fun, but I spend way too much time on this computer. Oh no, what have I done here? Okay. This is a family-friendly show here. That is not great. Okay, let's add a little bit of noise. I'm about to get canceled off of YouTube. Bring it down a little bit. Okay, then we want the staff to have the hatch on it. Today or in general? Oh, it's been about 2 months, I think. I went off on I think I spent the entire month of June working on getting shape key animation in, and then from there I started the boilerplate for this thing, and then shortly thereafter, yeah, probably 2 months of maybe 1 hour a day, sometimes on the weekends like maybe 4 hours a day. So probably 80 hours. It's probably longer than that. Are you working on a project right now? Are you doing something in Unreal? Why did your rotations get screwed up? Okay, Z forward, Y up. I don't even know. What are all these empties? Huh. Oh, are you just empty bones that don't belong anywhere? Hmm. Oh, what are you working on a project right now in Unreal? Oh. I think Unreal is really powerful and really cool, and I certainly agree or admit that this is not the fastest way to make a game. But it is probably the most fun, which is why I soldier on. Oh, no, that's okay. I was wondering if you were working on a project in Unreal right now. Oh, okay. Yeah, I tried it earlier this year, last year. I don't remember which one it was. Ooh. Yeah, me too. Always learning. Okay, next time I stream and you're watching me and this happens again with my normal map being all screwed up, just remind me that what I did to fix it was that I had forgotten to, the problem was I'd forgotten to in Substance Painter export my mesh. And then I will remember it, I will fix it. Yeah, I'm all about node-based editing. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now I just need to move my light. Blueprints seem really cool. There. Oh no, no. Why? Have you gotten out of sync? Dang it. Okay, whatever. I'm out of patience for the night for fixing FPX export problems. Oh yeah, you know, I keep a notepad, what is this, OneNote doc with my notes. The problem is I have one for work and I have one for home, and I just use it so much at work that I also keep my home notes there, but now I don't have access to my work laptop. So I basically only use my work one, is what I was trying to say. Okay. All right, well, thanks for joining, Kirk Obey. I'm going to be wrapping it up here. And I will see you next week, maybe.